Let's talk about Colorado and Oregon.
Ooh.
Because, the Buffs got exposed this weekend and the whole country was watching. Yep. So what are we thinking? Where's our head at? I mean, like, is this what we expected? I know this is what you expected, but did you expect it to be this bad?
I didn't expect it to be that bad. I think in the preview I said, don't be surprised if they cover, but I didn't personally predict Oregon to cover that line. Yeah. I thought it was going to be like a 17-point game. I thought they'd beat them by multiple scores.
It would be a blowout.
Yeah, I responded to that tweet that I put out earlier in the week and said, update, Oregon beat them by a ton of scores.
Yeah.
Which was...
it was pretty bad.
I said in the preview, you don't go up to Autzen and win.
Yeah.
Like, it's so tough to go on the road. To go on the road in general and win, it's tough, but I didn't think they'd go up to Autzen and win. I didn't think they'd go up to Autzen and lose 42-6.
Yeah.
I thought Shedeur would put on a little bit better of a performance than he did, but I think this is really good for Colorado. I know they're not going to want to hear that or like to hear that, but I think this is really good for them because now everybody's expectations go from here to, to down here.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they've had a lot of pressure on their shoulders after these few weeks because it's like, hey, you got to keep this train rolling or else everyone's going to be very disappointed.
Well, you got the whole nation watching now, and sometimes it can be really hard to deal with expectations. Like when they went into the season against TCU, there was zero expectations. They're playing with house money.
Yeah.
Then, expectations roll up. They're like, oh, you got Oregon on the road. You got to be able to play and then beat a team like Oregon on the road.
Exactly.
There's those expectations. Now they're going into USC at home with, I wouldn't say no expectations, but definitely less expectations than they had for Oregon. I think people are going to go in. A lot of the money that's going to be bet on this game is going to be bet in favor of USC, I think, especially after last week. So I think it gives Colorado a chance to pull what would be an upset. Yeah. I think people kind of assumed that Colorado would beat Oregon, or at least a lot of the casual fans did.
Yeah.
Now I think they understand a little bit better about what Colorado is. Colorado's a great football team. They're missing probably, I think Deion even said it, a couple weeks ago. They're missing 7 or 8 players from being a legit team. It showed.
Yeah, that's a majority. That's significant.
Yeah,
7, 8 players.
And that's what I expected going into the season. I thought if they made bowl eligibility, that'd be a great season.
Yeah.
I think looking back on it now, I think if they win 8 games, that's still a great season.
Oh, I absolutely agree.
It's like, they're going to play USC. They still got to play Utah. They still got to play. I think they got to play Washington too, if I'm correct. So it's like you got to play the 4 best teams in the conference. They got to play UCLA too. So don't be surprised if USC, puts another pounding on them. Yeah. I don't think it will be 42-6. But if USC beats them, maybe like 56-28, don't be surprised.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's watch a little clip about Deion. This is one that you sent me. It was
about Travis, right?
Yeah.
So this is the clip of Deion Sanders reading some text messages from Travis Hunter.
To you today. I need to play this week. We need to get everything we can so I can get back on the field. I'm not taking no for an answer. Who you think sent me that? How did you know that? Because what? No, you ain't ready, and I care about you more than I care about this game. You're going to change the game of football one day when you're healthy and ready. The future is brighter than mine ever will be and ever was. Relax and get healthy. I love you, son. That was the conversation. I care about y'all more than I care about this game. But I want you to learn throughout this game and throughout trials and tribulations who you are.
Yeah, this was interesting to me.
Yeah,
I think he's right. And this is no disrespect to Travis or Deion, but if Travis plays this weekend, I don't think it's going to impact the end result of the game.
Yeah.
And that's not saying that Travis isn't, Travis is the best player on this football team. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Like when it comes down to it, I know quarterbacks are heavily talked about as, the players on the team. And Shedeur is a great player in itself, but the impact that Travis Hunter has on this team was felt against Oregon.
Oh, and we even saw that before the game. I mean, when he was announced out, it was like the swing of the line.
Yeah. So it's like, if Travis plays this weekend, that's a big help to Colorado, and it would make the game closer.
Yeah.
I don't think that they win this week with Travis.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
I think the way Deion's looking at it, and I think the way that all Colorado fans and the rest of the nation should look at it is rest up, get Travis back to 100% so that when you play these games down the stretch, you get 100% of what Travis Hunter is instead of, maybe 60, 70%, whatever he might be going in this weekend.
Yeah. And like, what does this mean for Oregon? I mean, on the flip side, that team looks scary. They look like legitimate contenders. Do you think they are the best team in the Pac-12 right now?
Yeah. I mean, when we did our preseason conference predictions, I picked Oregon to win the Pac-12. I don't know if they're the best team in the Pac-12 right now, because Washington, I think you could make the argument, is the best team in the nation.
Ooh.
I know there's a hot take right there.
Yeah,
but
clip that.
But the way that Washington's playing football right now, it's Michael Penix is a Heisman leader. He's leading the conversation right now. He's the best quarterback, or he's playing the best football from the quarterback position in the nation right now. Caleb's playing great ball, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But for Caleb to win the Heisman, he's going to have to play better than he did a year ago.
Yeah, because they don't do back-to-backs very often.
Exactly. So I think Penix is leading the Heisman race. I think Washington overall is leading the nation as the best team right now. I think it's going to be interesting when they get tested against, Oregon in a couple weeks from now. So it's interesting for Oregon. They have not surprised me one bit. Like I'm not surprised by what Oregon's doing.
Yeah, they're killing it.
This is what you expected. You got a veteran quarterback, you got a veteran football team. This is what they do.
It's something to prove.
Yeah, and I think Dan Lanning's a better coach than people give him credit for.
Yeah, and he definitely had some words to say, about it was like, what was it? We're not fighting for clicks, we're fighting for wins.
Yeah. All
that, taking shots at Deion, and it was like, is he gonna make it personal? And it's personal, but Colorado wasn't able to go out there and get it done. They only scored one touchdown. Scored one touchdown and, got slaughtered. So, yeah, it was tough. I think a lot of people were preying on Deion's downfall. I personally love the dude. I love what he's doing for the sport.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they're going to have to bounce back and, make some adjustments moving forward, because they dropped out of the rankings. They're starting to not look too great great at all.
Let's talk about this one.
This is his first year.
This is Keyshawn on the show that he's on. I don't even know what show he's on. This first take. Oh, this is Undisputed.
Yes.
So yeah, this is
year
Keyshawn.
At the Power 5 level. This is its first year. They're 3-1. We can't sit up here and act like it's all doomed. It's over with. They'll never win another game. That's not true. They played against an Oregon team that is better. There's a better football team.
Bo Nix played.
And you mentioned
Bo Nix played well.
You were talking about the jealousy and the way these coaches and how Deion got there. This is interesting you said that. I didn't want to interrupt you. I wanted to let you finish. So I spoke to somebody in the coaching fraternity right after the game. And they know some people that coach at Oregon. And they was telling me, they said, man, I've never heard from another assistant coach of how much information was being given to that staff about, I'm being real with it, about game planning against Colorado so they can beat them.
Everybody
was stacked. They was stacked.
Wow.
Why is he lying?
You think he's capping?
Why is he lying? No coach. No coach at another school. Let's be real here. No coach at another school was helping Oregon game plan. Stop it.
So you think he's trying to make excuses for Deion?
I don't know if he's making excuses, but I don't think Deion needs excuses.
Yeah.
I think Deion will flat out tell it how it is.
Yeah.
But come on. No coach that is hired at another university that coaches football
is going out there and doing
going out there and saying, hey, Dan, let me help you game plan this week.
Yeah.
One, Dan Lanning is a good enough coach. He doesn't need it.
Yeah.
No information that any coach could have given him is something he doesn't already know.
Yeah.
Like Dan Lanning is coaching at the highest level of college football. He doesn't need somebody else to game plan for him. He doesn't need any other information from anybody else. He doesn't need it. He coaches at the highest level.
It's true.
Number 2, what other coach is sitting there calling Oregon saying, hey, you're going to need this information this week? That coach has his own game. He's got a game plan.
Exactly.
For. It's like,
if you could think of any, if it were to be any coach, I think it might be Colorado State. But even then, it's like, does he even care that much to the point where he's going to go out there, go out of his way?
Even if it is some other coach, Dan Lanning picks up the phone. They have a conversation for 5 minutes, and Dan's like, thanks. And hangs up.
Thanks. I already knew that. Thank you.
Like, come on. This is not two, Pee-wee football teams going after you. Be like, hey, last week, number 12 played really good against us. You probably should defend him.
Oh, it's like, oh yeah.
It's
really,
it's nothing like that.
That's crazy.
Dan wakes up every morning. He goes and sits in his office and he turns on his film.
And he knows.
He knows football.
Yeah.
He coaches at the University of Oregon, the number 9 ranked team in the nation.
Yeah, and they got it done. So, I mean, with or without information, they got it done. So, yeah, you think that's just that's the outrageous take?
That is the most cap I've ever heard in my life.
He's fighting for clicks.
I mean, it's working, I guess, because we're reacting to it.
Yeah, exactly. So he's fooled us.
When I was watching this, I was like, stop it. That is the most cap thing I've heard in my life.
Outrageous.
But do with that information what you will. If you think that Oregon was really asking other coaches for information about Colorado, I guess you can believe that.
Do as you will.
But
do as you will.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So what is this? We got a little graphic.
So we got a little interaction here between Robert Griffin III, who I have a ton of respect for. I think RG3 is one of the goats in the game right now, in the announcing game.
Yeah,
because
he's entertaining.
He's got so much information. It's like, I think he's fun to watch, fun to listen to. But RG3 tweets a response to Danny Cannell. I apologize. I'm not familiar.
Danny Cannell.
But he says, Coach Prime took over a 1-11 Colorado team, then got 47,277 fans to sell out their spring game, which was more than the last 9 spring games combined. I did not know that. That is interesting. Then he says, then sold out season tickets for the first time in 27 years, then knocked off number 17 TCU and started 3-0. You are just a hater. And then he says, zero hate here. RG3, where were you last year when Willie Fritz turned around Tulane from a 2-10 team to a 12-2 team and a New Year's 6 bowl win over USC? Or when Mike Elko turned around Duke from a 3-9 team to a 9-3 team? Or when Lance Leopold turned Kansas around? Why you only hop on this bandwagon? And then RG3 says, I got time, and posts a clip of him talking about Tulane when they played USC.
Oh, really? Because, he called that game.
Yeah, he did.
He called that game.
So
it's like, dude, do your homework, right?
This is my thoughts on here. And I'm sorry, Danny, I'm not taking your side on this one. I'm on RG3's side. First off, no disrespect to Tulane, Duke, or Kansas, but Tulane, Duke, and Kansas are nowhere near the hype level that this Colorado team has gotten.
Absolutely not.
And this Colorado team isn't getting all this hype from RG3.
Yeah.
Like the whole nation is giving this Colorado team hype.
Just look at the viewership. I mean, it's like dissing RG3 for talking about one of the main topics. And it's like, dude, just say you hate Deion for some reason.
Yeah.
For some odd reason. Why are you so bitter?
And it's like, RG3's talking about, like we said, the most talked about topic in the nation.
Yeah.
When Tulane went from 2-10 to 12-2, unfortunately, they were not the most talked about topic in the nation.
Yeah.
Like that's just the way it goes. Mm-hmm. I'm sure if Deion Sanders took over Tulane and they went from 2-10 to 12-2, he'd be talking about Tulane.
Yeah.
So it has nothing to do with Mike Elko and the great job that he's done at Duke. It has nothing to do with Lance Leopold and the great job he's done at Kansas. And first off, shout out to Kansas, 4-0 back-to-back for the first time since, the World War I want to say. It's been forever. So shout out to the work that, both of those guys are doing. But I don't think we need to take away from one man's success because they're being talked about more than others.
Yeah. And it just feels like he's just trying to start a fight that, I don't know. Who knows his intentions, why he's frustrated. Just like, dude, Twitter, you could tweet whatever you want, man. Why do you care?
Look, and I think with the Deion Sanders thing, I think people are frustrated about Deion Sanders because he's got like some people call it cockiness. Some people call it confidence.
I just think it's swagger.
I think it's swagger and I think it's confidence mostly.
Yeah.
And I think when Deion Sanders walks in the room, he's the most confident dude in the room.
And for some reason, that just makes people upset.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So, I'm not necessarily. I'm glad Oregon won over Colorado over the weekend because I think people need to be realistic, and I think when people put unrealistic expectations on teams, it hurts the team overall. Personally,
yeah.
So I think getting this Colorado team back to here. I think we're going to see a really good performance from Colorado this weekend. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they'll be able to get it done, like I've said previously, but I think overall it's going to make this Colorado team better, which is going to make Deion Sanders more Deion Sanders.
More Deion Sanders.
What I love to see.
We are totally here for. We are in full support of Deion Sanders here at the Play Action Podcast.
I do need to say one more thing though. I need Deion Sanders to be one of the big dogs because he will be unbearable. And I will love every single second of it.
Yeah, so. Totally agree.